In this video, we're going to do a problem where we create a directory structure, and we're going to use the command prompt to create the structure. And so what I have here, you can see on the left side here, is a cut from Microsoft Explorer that shows the directory structure that we want. And over on the right, I have I've used the tree command to show the corresponding directory structure. And so you can see that these two are the same. We have D1, D2, D3. They're just inverted in order that they are here. We have D31, D31, and so on. So you can see that these represent the same directory structure, and our objective is to create the data structure using the Windows command prompt. So the first thing we need to do, obviously, is open the Windows command prompt. So here that is. I just opened it up, and because I know that I want to be able to retrieve all the commands that I use, one thing that you can do to make sure you can do this is just right click on the menu, go to Properties and Layout, and there's the screen buffer size, and make sure that the screen buffer height is suitably large. And so what this means is the screen buffer is going to have 3,000 lines, and so even after I scroll past the bottom of the screen, it will keep the last 3,000 lines of text that were entered into the command prompt. The second thing we're going to do is decide where we want to root the tree, or where we want to create the directory structure. You can see on the PowerPoint here that I've got this one rooted at htemp, and then I started the dir examples, dir examples, from that root. The root here would be htemp. So I need to first get to that location. So I'm currently at the C drive, user Smith Jeff directory. So I'll just go H to switch to the H drive and go to temp. And then if I do a directory, I can see that I'm in the temp directory and there are no subdirectories. So the first thing I'm going to do is create the dir examples directory. So I can do that using the md or make directory command. And I just type md dir examples. And then when I do a dir, I can see the directory that I just created. Now, since I want the tree that hit the D1, D2, D3 tree to be under dir examples, the first thing I need to do is actually go there. So I'm going to do a cd change directory to dir examples, and this should be empty because I just created it. You can see that it is. And so the next step that I need to do is create the first level subdirectories from dir example. So that would be D1, D2, and D3. So I can do that with md D1, MD D2, MD D3, and then do a dir, and I can see the D3, D2, D1, so it inverted the order, but the three subdirectories are there. So at this point, I have my dir examples directory and the D1, D2, D3, which are the first level subdirectories created. The next step would be to navigate to D2 and create D21 and D22. So I need to cd to D2, md D21, md D22, and again just do a quick dir to make sure that I have my 2.1 and 2.2 directories. And now if I want to back up, I can just do cd ... That will take me back one level in the directory structure. So now I'm back to the first level where I have D1, D2, D3. And if I want to check the progress, I can use the tree command, and it will show me that I have the first level, D1, D2, D3, the second level rooted in D2, which is D21 and D22. So the final step here is to create the structure under D3. And so I need to cd to D3, md D31, cd D31. So now I am in the dir examples D3, D31 directory. So I'm sitting right here in our structure, and I simply need to create these three subdirectories. md D311, md D312, and md D313. Do a dir just to check those. Here's 311, 312, 313. And now I can simply back out. And so my choices are, I can just use the dot dot to go back one, use the dot dot again to go back one more, do the tree command like that. Or if I were at that level in the tree, I'd go back up to D3, D3, 1 like that. I can always back up using an absolute reference. So back to the temp dir examples. And so using a mix of the moving one directory at a time using dot dot, or use the absolute location, whichever happens to be easier. And then, as I said, I can issue the tree command, and we have the structure that we initially, let's see if I can move this over here. Now we have the structure that we were initially requested to do. And because I had the screen buffer big enough, if I want to go back and review how I created the structure, or I need to turn in the commands, for example, I can simply scroll back. I can scroll backwards and see the history of all of the commands that I executed in order to create the directory structure.